the end as well. And I know it's really hot, and you chose to be here with us today. So, round of applause for all of you. With all the preparations, with all the marketing, if you guys didn't actually show up, the day wouldn't have been what it was. And everyone's been saying that the energy here today has just been very uplifting and motivating, and that has to be from the people who are here today. So thank you very much for bringing your energy to us today. I know it's late and we're warm and we're tired, so I'm going to keep it short. This is my first ever live event. I've been to a lot of events and spoken and participated, but this is the first event that I've ever put on. And like I said at the beginning, one of the main reasons why I put this event on was because I've been to events before or listened to people's seminars or read books, and there's pieces of information that work here and other pieces that work here, and I wanted to try and bring together under one roof all of the speakers, the experts, the products, the services that I recommend to people when they're on their journey to natural health. Like I've been on my journey to natural health, and along my journey I've stumbled and fallen, and I've pursued routes that didn't work for me, and then I've pursued routes that worked fantastically for me. And like most people who are coaches or mentors, the work that we want to do is help people to avoid as many of the mishaps as possible and get straight to the stuff that works. And I can talk a lot. I mean, give me a stage and I'll be up here for 8 hours just talking. I don't mind that. I will talk. But what my latest book is me my attempt at condensing down some of the biggest and most powerful messages that I've given people about how they can improve their health, and more importantly, how they can get their mind into a space where it's ready for the growth that's needed. Because sometimes you can have all the how-to information, and that's what one of my other books, Budget, Behavior and Belief, is about. You can have all the information that you need to make a change, but you still don't make it. And sometimes the reason you don't make it is because either you don't feel you have the time or the money to make it. We all think, I don't have the time for that, I don't have the money for that, that's too expensive, that's going to take too long. And when you really put the work in, you'll often find that that's not the case. Because if something more frivolous but more exciting comes up, we can find the money. We see a really pretty dress for £100, we're like, oh, yeah, next paycheck, I'm sure I can squeeze £100 out, I'm sure. Electric can wait, the gas can wait, I'll just pay a bit here and a bit there. But when it comes to a juice that's £100, no, spending £100 on a juice, that's expensive. Like, we will put things above the priority of our health. And when you do want to focus on your health, and sometimes that's because we don't see that our health has any impact on the rest of our life, because our body does a really good job at compensating when we're abusing it. So we can get countless nights of no sleep. We can fill our body with junk food and sugar and not drink any water. And our body doesn't obviously process. So we think it's okay for us to continue to live like that. Is it okay for us to live like that? No. And we all know that, but we all do it because our bodies allow us to do it up to a point. And sometimes at that point when we have the breakdown, we don't always attribute that breakdown to the fact that we haven't been looking after our body well enough, even though our body's been looking after us very well. And who knows that their body's been not looking after us, who knows that their body's been propping up their misbehavior for a really long time? Me. Yep. And we all have. Even I have. I abuse my body. I don't get a lot of sleep. I don't always drink as much water as I need to. So I'm like, no, I've got to get this book out. I've got this homeschooling. I've got clients. I've got to do coaching. I've got to do this, that, and the other. But there comes a time when you have to respect that your body has needs as well. And those needs can be met by just addressing your foods, drinking more water, getting more sleep, tuning in and asking your body, what is it that your body wants? So all of these kind of bigger, complex types of messages that I wanted to put to people, I created 100 sayings. So that's what this book is. It's 100 sayings that of the messages that I want to be really like quick and concise, so you can really remember them easily, and that they can be there to motivate and inspire you when things get difficult. Because things get difficult, right? We know exactly what we want to do, but sometimes it's just too much. Like, we need someone. Sometimes it can feel very alone when you're trying to make changes, especially if other people around you are not making those same changes. Do we agree with that? Yeah. Have we felt like we're the only person that wants to eat good? at some point. We're the only person that is like, I'm just drinking water today. And then when you go out with everyone, people are getting Fanta and Coke and all of this kind of stuff. And you just feel like a bit of a plum to be ordering water. Am I lying? Like, you're like, all right, I'll have a cocktail then. Like, but if we had more support around us, and sometimes that support needs to come from that little voice inside you. And the more information that you have, and the more foundation you build internally, the bigger that inner voice will be, so that it drowns out the voices of judgment or the voices of negative influences that are coming from the outside. Does that make sense? Yeah? So, just a little bit about me before I do a little, get some of my family to help me. So this is me when I was about 5 years old. No, I was about 8. And this was about 3 years before my health journey began. And my health journey began when I went to a farm. I went to John Keeble School just up the road, and we went to a farm. Yes! Northwest in the house. So yeah, I went to Tinley Hall or Gordon Brown Centre, where they've got the farm and you do the camping outside. I did all of that. We were looking after goats and sheep and chickens, and I was feeding them, and I thought they were all cute. And then when we came back home, my mum took me to the butcher's in Harlesden, and I'm looking at all these carcasses, and I said to my mum in front of the whole shop, I don't want to eat that, I was feeding it last week. And at that point I decided I was going to be a vegetarian. However, my teenage years was spent as a junk food vegetarian. Now, a lot of vegetarians and vegans have got it in mind that as long as I'm not eating meat or chicken or fish, I'm healthy. But I had that notion, and I lived on soya, Mars bars, pasta, pizzas, chocolate, sweets, because there was no meat, there was no fish, there was none of that in it, so I thought I was okay. In my late teens, I developed a lot of menstrual problems, which to me scared the life out of me. I thought I was never going to have children. I thought my womb was going to fall out onto the floor at some point. Like, I didn't know what was going on. It was just very scary. But I also didn't have a lot of faith in the medical profession, so I didn't get myself checked out. I didn't go to the doctors. But I so happened to start working as a medical secretary in Central Middlesex Hospital, in and amongst some gynecological doctors. So I thought, okay, I know these people, let me go and just have a private consultation. After having had this situation for at least 18 months and plucking up the courage to go to the doctors, she pretty much dismissed my condition completely and said something as vague as, oh, if it gets worse in 6 months, come back. And I was like 20, it crushed me, like, what do you mean come back? I've lived with this for 2 years. And a lot of people that I'm working now say the same thing. They know they've got a headache. They know their bones are hurting. They know they can't get up in the morning. They know they've got fogginess and they can't concentrate. And they go to the doctors. All the tests come back clear, and the doctor tells them they're okay. Has anyone experienced that? Yeah. And we know innately that that's not the case. Now, I have a very powerful teacher by the name of Dr. Malachi York, and he always impressed on us the importance of connecting back to nature and taking responsibility for your own health and your own life in general. The helping hand that you need is at the end of your own arm. So that inspired me, okay, well, they're not going to do anything about my health. Let me do something about my health. So I studied aromatherapy, herbal medicine, and nutrition. I put together a herbal combination and used aromatherapy oils and food, and I managed to cure the condition that I had in a number of weeks that I'd lived with for 2 years. So that inspired me to want to help everyone else. And I was a pathetic employee. Like, tell me to show up on time too many days of the week, and I just couldn't do it. Like, you're telling me I can't take holiday. I was just the worst employee. So I was thinking, okay, maybe I should just work for myself. So I decided to become a nutritionist. But what I did as a nutritionist is what I know a lot of fitness instructors do it. I know a lot of life coaches do it. Exactly what worked for me, I impressed upon everyone else. And I didn't respect that person's situation, their likes, their needs, their financial situation, their practicality, none of it. I was like, if this works for me, it's going to work for you, right? And if it doesn't work for you, obviously you're the one that's doing something wrong. It can't be me, because I'm getting great results, so you must be the one with the problem. Then I realized that we do not all function the same. On a chemical level, on a biochemical level, what's one man's food can be another man's poison. And when I fully encompassed that reality is when I started working as a metabolic typing advisor. So I would put together personalized diet plans for people based on their body type. And there's a few people who have worked with me having their metabolic type, and it's a miraculous change when you really look at how your body is responding to food, and then you respond and you listen to your body. And it's really about listening to what the messages that your body is telling you. So I started getting much better results for people as far as their diet was concerned. But then, even though I said I was holistic, I never took into consideration people's lifestyles or what was going on in their life. So you can have the perfect diet, but if you're in a really rubbish job, if you're in an abusive relationship, if your children are running amok in your house, if you feel depressed, if you don't have any self-confidence, it doesn't matter how fantastic your food is, am I right? It just doesn't matter. You can have the most perfect diet ever. It's going to be so hard for you to implement it if you don't get your mind right first. And at the beginning of the book, I wrote, there was a time I thought life coaches were just some hippie, fuzzy-wuzzy, like away with the fairies people who couldn't get a proper job. That's why they were life coaches. I didn't think there was any science or foundation in life coaching at all. Until I did a course, and at the beginning they gave me some self-life coaching exercises. And at that point I realized that life coaching and looking at your life and assessing where you are and where you want to be and the steps you need to take to get there, everyone needs to do that. At some point, on some level. You don't need to work with a coach to do it, but when you do that and you really take responsibility for your life, every other change that you want to make will happen seamlessly. Seamlessly. So people are like, you know, how do you do it? You homeschool, you've written 5 books, you work from home, you do this, you do that. And I'm telling them, it's because I changed my mind. If someone said to me, well, you're pregnant, you can't write a book, then I wouldn't have written a book. If someone said, well, you homeschool 5 children, you can't coach clients, I wouldn't have coached clients. But I told myself, why not? Okay, so tell me, why can't you do it? Because you're going to be tired. You're going to be tired anyway, right? Every excuse that my mind came up with, I got over that excuse. It's going to take long. Sitting down and watching EastEnders takes long. It's going to cost money. New shoes and trainers cost money. Are you telling me to wind it up? Am I sure this? You're telling me to wind it up. That's why you said, go work with friends and family. Let me take Mickey. Okay, I'm going to wind it up.
Why are you speaking in Jamaican? You're from Grenada.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so the concept that kind of amalgamated all of that was what I call being naturally you, which is why everything is naturally you. This is the Naturally You Day. I'm the Naturally You coach. And being naturally you is eating, living, and thinking in a way that connects you with nature, creates happiness and balance in all areas of your life. It's connecting you with your inner self to create plans and goals that are in alignment with your core. So not in alignment with what your husband says is good for you, what your doctor says is good for you, what your best friend's doing, what works with you at your core. It's ignoring the wants and ideals and desires and decisions that other people make for you unless they're entirely in alignment with your chosen path. So when you're on your path, don't let other people push you off because they don't feel comfortable with what you're doing. You stick to your path. And it's realizing that reaching for other people's ideas of perfection, especially if attaining them leaves you feeling deprived, inadequate, or unbalanced, is never something that you should engage in. So that's what the whole concept of being naturally you is. And then 100 Bites, which is my new book. When you live in a way that's naturally you, you're going to be free to create a life that brings you true happiness and balance. And the quotes in the book are the ideas that I've shared with many of my clients and worked on while they were on their own journey to becoming naturally you. So at the table, at my table, these books today are £9, and if you want them signed, then I'll be happy to sign them for you. And in order to allow the rest of the event to go on, I'm going to wrap it up for now, but I will finish by saying that if you haven't already spoken to all the exhibitors and spoken to all of the speakers and absorbed as much as you can from today, I encourage you to do so. Because everything that I've just spoken about, there's something that you can get from every single person in here. And to be honest, even if you guys start speaking to each other as guests, because you all came here for a reason, which means you're all already connected somehow. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And that connection and that community that can be created, the same way Day of the Goddess created a community, the same way Adornment created a community, the same way Natural November created a community. We can create, the same way the United European Nation created a community, the same way Nation of Islam created a community. Whether we agree with the principles or not, they all created a community, and with that common unity, magnificent things can happen. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And we know that's true. We can move mountains and we can change ourselves just by changing our mind and uniting. So thank you so much for coming today. Take care. Is invite some people to the stage, and I've asked them to choose a quote from the book, and they're going to give us their interpretation of it. Now I want you to listen carefully, because there's going to be the opportunity for you to win a copy of the book. So Yvonne, Jenny and Redhead, could you guys come up to the front please? Round of applause!
We spoke about it inside. And I was going to do a different number. And I was doing a different number too. And I said, no, I'm going to do this one. And I thought it's the same page. We're doing this number. And we're doing the same number. Alright then, it's okay. We'll just do each other's version. Is that alright? Yeah. Okay, alright.
Okay, so you guys, you have to listen carefully to what they're saying.
Yeah? Go on then. Number 29. Number 29. You don't need permission to be fantastic from anyone but you. Woo! For me, that brings to mind the poem by Marianne Williamson, Our Deepest Fear, yeah, is to be great. And who are we not to be great? We are all divine beings, yeah, we've all got permission to be great and achieve our highest potential, and that's what that means for me. So if you don't need permission to be great, just go out there, achieve your dreams and your goals, and don't let anybody stop you, yeah, because at the end of the day you don't want to go to the grave and realise that I haven't achieved my dreams, I haven't reached my potential, so go for it. Released an album titled I Am What I Am. No apologies, because I don't need permission. I do what it is I want to do. I go forth and do it. If I want to do that, I do it. You know, people go, oh no, you sure that can be done? Like you were saying, no, you can't do that. No, you do it. You find a way and you do it. Yeah. Before this time and space, there were people doing things and making things happen, and people said to them, no, you can't do that, but they did it, and it was done, and if they can do it, then I can do it. In fact, I can do anything I want to do, wear what I want to wear, look how I want to do. Yes, I can put that dress with that shoes, and I'm going to do that today. I'm going to do that. The day I decided to go to Harlesden in red eyelashes, it was a funny day, I went out and I said, you know what, I wore these, they're fantastic. And I wore them to Harlesden, and this man followed me into the shop, and this man said, I love all your style. No, he said no, and he started putting his stuff on the conveyor belt next to my stuff on the conveyor belt, and I'm saying, no, you're mixing our stuff up. He goes, no, I'm not paying for that for you, no. Oh no, I love all your style. Just be you, no apology, do it, just do it. You can achieve everything you can perceive and
if you exercise your body as much as your mouth, you'll feel what fitness is all about. I like that quote actually, and I am all things fitness. And it's interesting because most people say I hate exercise, yet still this works 24/7. Anything you want to gossip about, the rubbish that's on TV, the EastEnders and whatever, that could be a story in itself. If we were to actually take that amount of time and energy and put it into the whole body, rather than just this one set of muscles here, we'd be really amazed at what we could actually achieve with our body and our health, rather than just focus on what's outside. And just taking on from what you just said there, I was in Bond Street one time. I got assigned a new client, so I went shopping. Shouldn't be going shopping, you know, but I went shopping and I thought I'll go to Russell Bromley, and I saw a really nice bag and shoes, and I was thinking, really, you know, you're not meant to spend any money, you just put it in the bag. But I thought, you know what, I want it, I'm going to take it. And there was a guy at the till, and again I had some old coat and my stick with me. I'd walk around with a jar everywhere. So everyone asked me, what's that stick for? I carried it. And the guy, we started chatting, and I told him what I do, and I specialise in pelvic floor health. It's taboo, people are worried about it, but I can explain it, and I can tell it really well. There's nothing derogatory about it, it's not all about sex. But I spoke to this guy, and whilst I was talking to him, the till is like a proper computer till. It went down, and I'm looking at my watch at the same time, and I'm thinking, you know what? One, you're not meant to be spending, but two, you're going to be late for your next client. So he kept saying, why are you watching your watch? I said, I'm waiting to go and see my next client. I can't have to leave this. And he goes, you know what? I can't stand lateness. He said, let me get this for you. Let me get it for you. Russell and Bromley, you know? Russell and Bromley, just singing that.
No, everyone's doing it now.
Yeah. And I was saying, no. With people behind the door going, that happened to us before. And going, please, I don't want you to be late. And I also want one of your clients as well. Let me take your card and I will call you so that we can do some work together. But in the meantime, please let me pay for that for you. Yeah? So when you use your mouth the right way, that was that. When I came back, one of the people that
Okay, so audience, can you remember the quote that Bon and Redhead said? If you can, put your hands up. Bon, if you choose one, and Redhead if you choose one.
Me? Yeah. And it'll be you, yeah. What, Dave? Yeah.
So you have to say what the quote was.
You don't need permission to be fabulous, fantastic, fabulous, fantastic, fabulous, fantastic. Go on.
What's the last bit?
No, except for yourself. Except for yeah. You don't need permission to be fabulous from anyone but yourself. Yeah. I was going to buy one anyway.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so Jenny, who can remember what Jenny's quote was?
No, you, man.
If you exercise your body as much as you exercise your mouth, then you know what real exercise is all about.
Back to Redheads. Who can remember what Redheads was again?
You know, you can't put your hands down now because you're trying to protect you.
Sorry, you don't need permission to do that.
Yes.
Okay, where's Ansha? Ansha! Oh, there you go. Okay, so everyone, introductions. This is my nephew. He's 15 years old. He wrote a book on the 5 most entrepreneurial rap stars, current rap stars. He wrote a book on it, a 6,000-word book.
Wow.
We put it on Amazon. We put it on Amazon. Okay, we put it on Amazon, and he did this while he was doing an internship.
Can I tell the story?
No, I'm He did this while he was on an internship, a work experience with Julian Hall, the entrepreneur. So he was mentoring him and guiding him through this whole process. He put it on Amazon, and overnight, without any massive marketing push, it got to #1. Business and music, And it also got to number 10 in another category and number 21 in another category overnight. From the book as well and give us his interpretation on it.
It's the first one.
You have to talk up. You're a businessman. Can't talk up. Project.
It's the first one. There's no disease, hydration, or AIDS. There's no disease, hydration, won't ease. So what this sort of relayed onto me is that no matter what happens to you, no matter how you feel, as long as you're hydrated, you're gonna be it's not gonna cure it, but you're gonna be better. It's gonna ease it. So if you're in pain, drink water. It's gonna get better. You know, if you're feeling sick, drink water. It's gonna get better. Drink fizzy drink. So water is pretty much the only thing that's that can be seen as hydration in this situation. You can't drink anything else; it won't have the same effect. You know, if you're thirsty, you can drink fizz. You drink Fanta, you drink juice. You're gonna end up thirsty within about 5 minutes again. If you drink water, you're not gonna be thirsty. You're not gonna be as thirsty.
And he's only 15 years old. So for the last time, Ansha, where can tell everybody about the book, where they can buy it, how much it costs, blah blah blah. You get it.
All right, so it's a book about 5 entrepreneurial rappers. Top 5 entrepreneurial rappers.
Yeah.
That I thought deserve to be, recognized and highlighted as entrepreneurs rather than rappers. So I wrote a book about them. You can get it on Kindle. It's not a paperback just yet, but you can get it on Kindle. It's £1 until Thursday. £1 until Thursday. Then it goes up to $2.99. On Kindle, just search Ansha Martin, A-N-S-H-A-R, Ansha, or just search Beyond the Mic. It's called Beyond the Mic, the money behind the music. Yeah.
Well done. Don't choose not pretty girls, man. I'm not talking about
Choose up pretty girl, no matter choose no man.
Watch it down.
There you go.
Don't bother with
There's no disease, hydration, can't eat.
Yeah! And let them know who you are, what you are.
Alright, 2 minutes. My name is Yvonne J. Douglas. I am a holistic healer. I do counselling, coaching, business mentoring, energy healing, psychic readings. I'm also an author of the book Hungry for Love. I'm here for a purpose. I've overcome a lot of stuff. This is why I say I don't need permission from anybody to be who I am, because I am who I am. And I'm a healer, and I'm here to do a work. And I'm here to serve, and I've been through my stuff, so I know what it is to do it, be through it, go through it, whatever. So I've worn the t-shirt and got the video and all that, so I can help you. So I'm outside, selling my book. I'll be going home soon though, because I come from East London. But yeah, that's me, and I'm here for you. Thank you.
That's my stage name. My other name is Cheryl, means beloved, so I'm good with that too. I'm an artist. In fact, I'm a healer first and foremost. That's where we are. And I heal through my artistry capacities. I'm also one half a day of the goddess that we put on every March. All the ladies in here that I see have been today the goddess. I'm loving it. It's for women, Empowerment Day for women. We deal with so much there, so there's been no men there. Unless you've come to help with the setup and the put down. No, we invite men to do that. We need brothers to play the brotherly role. I'm not made to lift tables. It's just not like that. Man meant to lift tables. Play their role, you know, so we can all do our thing together and live in harmony. So yes, that's what I do, and I'm loving it, loving the journey. Leah, wonderful event. Leah spoke at Day of the Goddess this year. We do a section called a journey talk, and we want to hear your journey, what you've done, because you inspire so many people. So I started by saying, yeah, last year she came, she was pregnant. The year before she had a baby here, she shouldn't have had a baby here. I said, but actually she's got 5 of them. I said, actually she does this, she does that, and the rest of it. Then I bought in the book, and she's got this new book here. So women are sitting there going, oh my God, she's done all of that, and she can do all of that, that's fantastic. She finished her talk, left the room, women left with her, she sold out. Just like that, sold out of the book. Just like that. Wonderful. Wonderful, Leah.
Thank you.
Hi guys, this is me. My second book, Pelvic Floor Secrets, I released at the end of January. I released my first book 8 years ago, so it's a journey on from 8 years from then. And I do actually have a chapter in here for men, because a lot of men come and they say, oh well, pelvic floor must be a woman's thing. Well, for every man that has a woman or a mother or a sister or a niece, he should know how women work. We should know what we go through. We go through change, especially when it comes to the menopause. People that suffer from asthma, they have big impacts on the pelvic floor. The pelvic floor is not just a muscle you have to worry about after childbirth. It's impacted by weight, it's impacted by food, it's impacted by elimination, it's impacted by constipation, impacted by poor exercise choice, yeah, and bad fatty diet. So it actually there's a lot that we can learn by actually understanding our pelvic floor and protecting ourselves. I look at it as a rewarder, and I say there's 6 main rewards. Fatter abs, better shaped butt, better shaped thighs, improved posture, dry liquor is always great sex. Everyone you don't want, fine, let me have it, yeah? But those are your 6 rewards that are there, yeah? Your posture, just even the shape of your abdominal, shape of your butt, can actually tell me what's going on for your pelvic floor. It's a muscle we can't see and it's hidden, but we need to consider it, yeah? So I'm just going to finish a quick little poem that I made. I like poetry as well. Hidden from view, not a thought or regard. The pelvic floor, your internal bodyguard. Put under pressure all day and all night. To avoid embarrassment, the sphincters must stay shut tight. The organs that sit on it may dislodge from their home, and then into the vaginal canal they may roam. The pain and discomfort then motivates you to seek a solution to repair and resume. Sensorial in nature, the last pathway to wake needs constant conditioning for confidence sake. The foundation of your trunk is your pelvic floor to support and protect as if a trapdoor. Understand it well, value its role, confidently continent, be it your goal. Wow.
Is going to be a wonderful chorus who's going to give us some musical entertainment. Put your hands